Hey, so this is crazy, but I think we actually have some Dragon Age The Veilguard news that will unite us all in singing the praises because we don't have to use the freaking launcher. The EA launcher, we don't have to use it. Oh yeah, and there's also like a shit ton of dialogue, like a lot of dialogue, and that might have been part of why it took so long to make Dragon Age The Veilguard. Or that could just be a cop-out, but it sounds cool, right? Like they have so much dialogue, it took a while. Let's talk about it. In a recent Games Radar interview, creative director John Epler and performance director Ashley Barlow were asked about why it took so long to make the game, and it sounds like part of it was just how much they wanted to get it right. While there were other projects going on at the time at BioWare, I mean notably during this time frame, you had games like Andromeda, Anthem, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, all in production, launching, or in development. Since then, BioWare has shuttled Star Wars The Old Republic over to Broadsword, and well, we don't really need to talk about Anthem, do we? And the plans that were scrapped for that game. But just how much dialogue is in the game? Well, the quotes specifically were that they have over 700 characters in game with 140,000 dialogue lines, including all the variations of Rook. One of the things that I personally honed in on this was part of that comment about the 140,000 lines, because Barlow mentioned first that there are 80,000 lines of dialogue, or 140,000 lines with all of the Rooks. The near doubling of dialogue lines when considering all the different backgrounds for your primary characters makes me excited to think just how much it will matter whether you are a Shadow Dragon, a Grey Warden, an Antivan Crow, or any of the other factions. One of the things that I loved most about Dragon Age Origins was the variety in ways things could play out based on your origin, something that kind of went away in the next two games in the series to an extent. But to be clear, I am not expecting the same level of depth that the origin stories had with the faction stories here. But it's still just like this little tidbit on the dialogue has me excited. However, I could be completely misreading this, because one of the things that they could be referring to is, you know, all the different Rooks that they have, all the different actors that they have playing Rook, because there are 4 of them. There isn't just a single actor. That's like the less charitable interpretation of this. I don't think it makes a lot of sense when you're talking about lines of dialogue, but I did at least want to just be fair here and like say like, oh, that might be the thing that is talking about instead of the thing that I want it to be. But I'm gonna go with the thing that I want it to be until proven otherwise. But the other quick bit of news that we mentioned at the very beginning of this video is the thing that's gonna keep you from taking your PC, picking it up, and chucking it the fuck out the window, because you don't have to use the EA launcher to play Dragon Age The Veilguard. This, I think, is a larger deal to more people than some may think it is. In a tweet from the official Dragon Age account, they posted that not only is Dragon Age The Veilguard continuing to make progress towards its fall launch, and that it's Steam Deck verified, meaning you'll be able to take your adventures on the go with you, if you're lucky enough to have a Steam Deck that is, but it'll also be Steam native, spelling out plainly in the tweet that the EA app will not be required to play this game. In an era of games shoving you into secondary launchers, including EA, often launchers that are just absolutely annoying as hell, hog resources on your PC, ask for logins and additional info all the damn time just to try to get you into their ecosystem so they can send you emails, sell your data, or whatever. It's nice to know that in this instance, you'll only have to worry about one of them. In all seriousness though, this is just a nice quality of life thing. Even Baldur's Gate 3, a game that I loved, would actually make you launch into another launcher from Steam. So you'd open up Steam, launch the Larian launcher. The one like really big benefit that they had that I thought was, you know, they didn't make you log in. You could just skip and go on to the next one, and you wouldn't have to deal with it, but you still had to go to another launcher. And it's just kind of like, it's nice to not have that additional third-party launcher in there, and you just go straight into the game from Steam. And with BioWare and with EA, this will be one of the only games that doesn't require that. Currently, Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect 1, I believe, are the only ones that don't require you to use the damn EA launcher. Even the most recent game they released, the well-received Mass Effect Legendary Edition, well, it still requires the EA launcher. You know what? If this works really well, maybe we can like set a trend here, and maybe the Mass Effect 5 that we get, if we get it, because you know, who knows? Time is a thing, a line, a circle. No, time. But if this goes well, then we can actually maybe have Mass Effect 5 also be a Steam native game, and you don't have to worry about launching into the EA launcher. And maybe we can just retire the EA launcher and like every other third-party game launcher, because they're all annoying. But before you go, we need to talk a little bit more about Dragon Age The Veilguard's companions and just how incredibly important they are to this game. And nudity. We need to talk a little bit about nudity. You can see that in this video right here, where I go into some of the details that we got so far about the companions and nudity.